you don't know, and I'm like, yes, and they're losing them. Somebody called me today, hey, I need this, it's one of my open dates, but yeah, okay, I'll get it. So, but I'm having a ball with it, and I can't say that enough, how much fun it is to be out there and just showing the cause. And with Debbie and I were just talking, and we've gone back to a kind of a, I'll just say it sounds kind of simple to say, but very grassroots efforts in the sheriff's office. We have a limited amount of resources within the sheriff's office. We got to make sure we allocate our resources very effectively and very efficiently. Otherwise, we're going to fail you as the people we serve. So let me start tonight. I think most people in the room know me. May will be 29 years in law enforcement here in Cochise County. I started with Bisbee Police Department in '84, and January of '86 I went to the sheriff's office. Worked up through the ranks, and I'm going to make it a little bit quick, until I got appointed as a commander with Larry Weaver. Worked with him for many years. In 2008, I officially retired. I'm not a guy to idle. If I don't feel like I'm doing something productive, I'm going to change course and make it productive. I'll talk a little bit more tonight about what we're doing in the sheriff's office there. But I went to Oregon, was a police chief for 3 years with the intent to come back and run for sheriff in 2012. Every 3 months that I was gone, those 3 years, I came back and worked at Cochise County as a volunteer. So I kept my certification and my connections to the people here in Cochise County. 2011, I came back. About 2 months after I was into it, I was already working on the campaign. A lot of Larry's folks in the campaign were jumping on mine to be my campaign on my committee, and then Larry and I spoke a couple months later, had a little breakfast, and he goes, Mark, I want to do one more term. And I'm like, oh, that hurt. So, long story short is he was also fortunate in 2016, which is 4 years away. That's a long time for me after everything. But I came back and worked for the sheriff's office, and the unforeseen happened, as we all know, and I was blessed by the Republican Party to be placed on the ballot, and then by the folks of Cochise County to be elected as their 26th sheriff. So again, I truly believe that. You know, one of the things that people have asked me over the time is, you know, there's a perception and there's a reality behind this, was what the sheriff could do and what he can't do. I did an official statement about 3 weeks into my office in regards to gun control. That's a huge debate in this country. We've all heard about it. Has anybody not seen my statement? Has anybody not seen it? Okay, a few people haven't seen it. Let me just read this to you. And I'm not a big reader, but I want to read this to you. Usually I just speak it, but I want to read this to you. To my fellow citizens of Cochise County, the United States of America. Recently, I've spoken to several of my fellow citizens in Cochise County who have voiced with me their concerns and fears with the President's recent decision to issue a number of executive orders aimed at gun control. Realizing the importance of this matter, I feel it's necessary to publish my official position on our Second Amendment rights and what role I and my office will have in this matter. First, let me say, my heart goes out to the families and survivors of the tragic event in Connecticut and to all those that may have lost their loved ones in past violent acts. However, if history has taught us anything, it is this. Solely blaming firearms for acts of violence is not the answer. In my opinion, it amounts to nothing more than a play on emotions in an attempt to pacify the immediate outcry, and is a disservice to those we, as elected officials, are sworn to protect and serve. As sheriff, I was elected by the citizens of Cochise County to represent them and their interests, and my deputy shall not be used as a surrogate of any government entity to violate the civil rights of the citizens of this great nation. My loyalty lies within the oath of the sheriff's office, which reads in part as follows. I solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the laws of the state of Arizona, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and defend them against all enemies whatsoever, and that I will faithfully and impartially perform the duties of the office of sheriff according to the best of my ability, so help me God. If I've learned anything during my 29 years as a lawman, it is this. Education, prevention, and enforcement are the three keys to successful crime prevention. We are a nation of laws designed to protect our citizens, establish peace and order, and above all, preserve the constitutional liberties of all. With that said, no one person or branch of government can singly handily solve the complex issue of crime prevention. There must be a collaborative effort on the part of law enforcement and our judicial, educational, medical, and legislative partners to develop a comprehensive crime prevention strategy which takes into account all the contributing factors, not just the most convenient. In closing, I respect our nation's elected offices. As a duly elected sheriff for the citizens of Cochise County, I and my office will ensure the constitutional rights of the citizens of Cochise County are not infringed upon and will not permit any official, federal or otherwise, to attempt to do so, necessarily me. The reason I came out with that, and there's a sadness to this story, is I came out with that
I take an oath to support the Constitution. And let me just say this, there were some folks that criticized me on my statement and came out and said, you're going to refuse to obey federal law. Let me make a clarification on that. I obey all laws, state, local, and federal. That's why I can stand in front of you as your sheriff. I enforce state and local laws. I don't enforce federal law, and let me make it clear. Federal agents don't enforce state and local laws. That separation of power is there for a righteous reason, and that's clear. I've made that clear to everybody I've talked about. The Arizona Sheriff's Association, I met with them, Thad and I went up after I was elected. We couldn't unify and come together as a Sheriff Association in Arizona. Oregon, Utah, Idaho, these states have come out strong and said, hey, we're standing together on supporting our oath that we take, and that is to support the Constitution.